Hello everyone. We will wait for 5 minutes more.
Thank you for participating in this webinar. We are really grateful that you took time out and you're joining right now for the same. I hope it will be interesting and very enriching experience for all of you.
This is DP Media Oleg's first webinar, Design-led Marketing Simplified. This session will be conducted by Ms. Devyani Pawar. She is founder of DP Media Oleg. DP Media Oleg is known for unique local designs. The company which has global standards and yet local at heart, where we try to incorporate global ideas and inspiration with Indian touch.
We'll wait for 2 minutes and then I'll start off with the presentation. So now basically the whole idea of starting a design-led marketing presentation was that I wanted to correlate the whole agenda of marketing with design, because what I have observed the trend is mind my dog. Okay, so the whole trend just give me one.
Before starting the session, I request you all to mute your audio, and you can ask your questions from the chat box below. And last 10 minutes we will keep for the interaction.
Okay, so sorry for the interruption. So the main motto of making this presentation was that everyone has a great marketing strategy, but if you fail on presenting it well on social media platforms, it becomes very difficult to convey the message what you feel for your brand. So it is very necessary that your design is in sync with your marketing strategy. And the main agenda for today's meeting or today's webinar will be the same. Okay, so now the webinar agenda for today will be how to create visual experience, how to build communities around hashtag, because hashtag is very important, how to structure social media campaigns over your business objectives, how to narrow your targeting to boost engagement and reduce the costing, and the cumulative summary. So first thing I would like to initiate with is how to create a visual experience. So now if you observe these two designs, one is created by DP Mediaholics and one is an example which we picked up from Google. So now from this first slide, I would like to convey to you guys that when you're presenting a message, it has to be in sync with your marketing strategy. Over here, what I have used is so my marketing strategy over here was that we always deliver what is expected from us as a design agency. And to highlight that, when you consider delivering or anything, we often consider a cart or a vehicle, which delivers everything on time. And a slight bit of typography, which will give out the message, what I was thinking. So here we combined both of these options together to create a very minimal message which will stand out. So this is something which you need to do for your own brand also, and this is considered as a correct design according to us, because when I'm looking at the design, I can straight away understand the message what I want to convey on social media. Now have a look at the incorrect design. When you see, you will be least interested in looking at the design, because there's so much of text being embedded in every element that you will be like, okay, I don't want to read so much, because honestly we don't have time to go through so much of text, and putting too much of text in your design or in your marketing strategy is going to ruin your message, what you want to convey. Often what I've noticed is, with my personal experience, is that clients want a lot of content to be added to one design. So that is something which everyone goes wrong with, because when you add too much of content, nobody is interested to go through it, and you can experience it right now. You know, you will prefer the first design than the second design, because honestly the message is directly conveyed. Okay, so now you will be thinking that how am I going to achieve that at home, because we are a design agency and we have designers to work on that. But what about you? So for that, you don't have to worry, because as I've mentioned over here, easy to, one second, no? Easy to use design apps. Just make a note of that. You can download Canva, Adobe Spark Post, and for IG stories, you can download Unfold app on your phones. And for your desktop, you can download Canva and sign in the same account on your phone. These are very easy tools to design beautifully and easily on your phone or on any of your devices which you might have. Now, easy to use photo editing app, because you need photo editing if you have any product you want to display. You know, it can be, now there might be so many clients who need B2B product and visual experience. So for that, you should download Snapseed app on your phone, and you can check, you know, the desktop interface of that as well. So these are the recommendation from my end. If you want to start off with designing your own artworks, you don't need to depend on any social media agency right now, because honestly in this difficult time it's very important to have an online presence, as well as it is very important for everyone to learn by themselves about everything what they are doing. So now, only designing a post is not recommended. You have to have correct layouts in place. So now, when you consider layouts, here I have shown two options of correct layouts. So there's nothing wrong in the layout. Now, when you consider a layout, you have to think in this way that there should be a feed where either it can be a 2-3 base colors assigned to your logo. Now let's say my base color will be, for DP Mediaolics, which I prefer, is gray, then it is black and white. So when you consider a social media layout or an Instagram layout, make sure that your brand colors are used some or the other way. So now as you can see, one second. As you can see, there are these three layouts which we have used. Over here, it's a black, gray, and white. So basically, what the main perception behind doing this is that whenever anybody visits your page, it has to look aesthetically appealing. And it has to have your brand colors, because in case in future, if you want to do any outdoor design, if you want to, you know, portray any hoardings, that has to be in sync with your social media. So when anybody looks at an Uber campaign on the hoarding, and if they see, if they check their social media page, you know, the brand colors are similar. You cannot experiment with too many colors if you are a brand, and try to stick to, you know, the baselines and the base colors which are there. You know, you can obviously experiment with different placements the way it is done over here. You can experiment with, you know, the typography which is used, but stick to your colors, because that is very important to create a long run brand identity for your brand. You know, for popular Instagram feeds, 1 or 2 prominent colors, while others can stick to a consistent filter. So it depends. Now if you're a blogger, you will have a lot of photos on the feed, so then you can stick to one filter which will be there, and in background or in your picture there has to be one prominent color or an item which you are using. Now a good tip to choose a color or aesthetic is to, you know, reflect your brand's personality or your brand. Now if my if example, if you say Uber or Nike or Adidas, they have base colors as white and black, you know, honestly, and then they experiment with other colors which they use in their merchandise. So you can do that. You can study your colors well, and then look at this. Okay, now moving forward to community around hashtags. So everyone has a question that should we put too many content, you know, for building a nice following on your social media account. Here's a tip for all of you guys, that putting up too many hashtags is not going to help you out with your Instagram reach or following. Rather, I would recommend, so this is tried and tested, 11 hashtags is something you need to work at, and it gives you highest number of reach as compared. Now, effective hashtags are memorable, unique, and relevant. Now, if something is trending, now let's say it's quarantine. So if you're working in quarantine and if you're posting anything, or if you're giving out services, so you can put quarantine as one of your hashtag. You can put lockdown as one of your hashtag. Then the rest of the hashtag, the 9 hashtags which are pending, it has to be reflecting what your post is all about. Now let's say if my post is about social media marketing, if I want to highlight some service, let's say brand identity which I'm delivering to clients, so you have to put hashtag brand identity, you have to put hashtag logo, um, all of this which is in relation with your post. So that is very important for you. Let's say let's consider Twitter also. Twitter does not need more than 5 hashtags, to be very honest. And Facebook, I recommend that don't put any hashtag because it does not work. So this is the count. And use and incorporate trending hashtags. Align your hashtags with your brand. There has to be one hashtag which represents your company. Let's say for me it's hashtag DP Mediaholics, so that the entire bank of whatever post you have created, it will be uploaded in that gallery. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, now you might be having a question that you are talking about design and aesthetics and everything. What about curating the marketing strategy around design? Now, design is baseless without a strategy. Everyone knows that. And for that, I have been in my constant webinars in the back where I have given this presentation and my lives. I've always emphasized on asking questions to yourself and your teammates in the company. So for that, you need to make a note of these 5 questions which are very important before you start designing anything for your brand. Now let's say if you're introducing a hair oil or any product, what is there for your brand, you need to just channelize all of these questions. The first thing what is there is who are the major players in this business, who are the owners, who are the customers, who is the competition, even who is your target audience. Just write it down, pen it down, and keep it aside. Answer the second question, which is what do you want to achieve, what is your sustainable advantage, and what do you want to offer. So that is important. Now if hair oil has benefits like it stops hair fall, or it is made to look your hair like younger, or it has the gray hair reduces, so that has to be written down, that these are the USPs what you want to achieve. Now for this, what is the timeline, when do you want it? So for this, when do you want to meet these particular goals, when do you think the business will start? You have to have a set timeline, otherwise everything delays. On an online platform also, you have to channelize that, okay, if I want to start selling, are these online partners available? Can I sell it on Amazon? What will be the timeline for registering? If it is a food thing, how much time it is going to take for FSSI license? What is it going to take? So those questions have to be answered, and then set a timeline that, okay, this is my launch date, and then this is my goal. Then why will your customers buy your product or service? So now what the belief you have for yourself in your brand, you have to highlight that over here, that these are the tried and tested methods. That's why my product is top selling right now, or this is something which I need to offer to the clients, and this is something which is going to really help my customer. So you have to pin down that thing for yourself, so that it is going to help you create a brand message. Now demographics right now is very important, as I said. Now if it is Amazon or something, now if you want to highlight and target and promote or boost your post on Instagram or Facebook, you have to know where you want to target it. So where is my business located, where it is going to be easier for you to deliver your things. If it is a food industry, online deliveries are happening right now. If it is a product, Amazon, you have to set your demographics, which is going to help you channelizing how you will deliver everything. Where are the new opportunities located? Where is this product highly sold off? So you need to see where exactly you have to sell it, and based on that you can set your social media targeting properly. So this is something I recommend to you. Okay, so now how to narrow targeting to boost your engagement on social media. This is very important. Now if you are if you have a page on Instagram and Facebook, there is a section called as insights for both of them, where you can see that what is the optimal time for you to boost your engagement or boost your post. Find your optimal posting times. Now when you open the insights section, you will understand that when is the right time when your audience visits you, or when is the highest peak hours when they are online. So based on that, set your timings for posting any of your ad campaigns or anything you're planning, and do it accordingly. For me, I generally post at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m, and that really works for me. But it honestly saying that everybody has to customize their needs. So for me, if it is 5 and 11, it can be different for you also. So just check the insights and plan it accordingly. It will ease out your process, and you don't need any agency to guide you with these timelines. You will be a pro once you observe these trends on your own settings and on your own Instagram insights. So that's going to help you a lot. Okay, so now how to narrow your targeting to boost engagement. Now the first thing what you need to do is visual storytelling is very important. The region is very important. The age group is very important, because let's say it is a product which only it is made for women. So in the boosting, or in the in the promotion of your ad, you can't put male audience or anything, because you want to target it to the female audience. So you have to select it as per that. The gender and the age group has to be accordingly. So age group could be, for me, I think from age group 20 to 65 is something which I select all the time. So that is something which is very wide, and you can choose that also. For gender, it honestly depends, and it is very flexible. The way I said, if it is a sanitary napkin made for women, so it can be targeted in that manner. The topics are very important. What topic is what you're choosing, so that also decides the demographics what you want to do. Now based on all of this, for creating a strong social media presence for your business, to learn differentiate between business and personal profile. Okay, so now this is a very important and interesting point which I would like to highlight, which I had highlighted in my previous webinar also, that there is often a mistake what we generally do, is that we try to put our personal things on a on a brand page, or vice versa. So if you want to set a brand which is not revolving around you, and if you want it to grow, it has to have its separate identity. It shouldn't be something where you are putting up your profile pictures, or if you're putting something related to your personal life on your brand page. That is something which shows a message that your company is still revolving around you, and it is not an independent entity. So now why I'm saying this, because when you make a brand message, and when you make a singular identity for your brand, then people have this illusion. Even if you're a small company, people have this illusion that this is an established company, and it is having its own identity, and it is not reliant on the founder's identity. It has to be very, very properly portrayed on your social media account, on your brand page. And the second thing what I would like to convey to you guys is, okay, on your personal account you can post whatever you are doing for your company, but you cannot post whatever the personal information or the personal things on the brand page. So please make sure that you don't do that mistake, because that's going to really help, and it gives out a message of freelance business. So trust me, an established company impact is different than the freelance one. So just try to stick to the differentiating your personal profile and your company profile. So this is something which I had, prepared for you guys. So Sampada, you can take over and everyone can just drop questions if you have in the chat.
Hello everyone. You can ask questions from the chat box below. Please let us know if you have any query or you want to ask questions. Please ask.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Parag. Sorry for my dog. It's kind of. How can we reach the geographical target audience? Through hashtag. Okay. This is a very, very good question, Ankita. So from hashtags, of course, now if I am targeting at any food related thing for Pune, let's say. So I will use the hashtags as Pune Instagrammers, then Pune foodie, so Pune, because they are very trending in Pune. And these are some top, geographical hashtags which are very, very, very essential. So now if you want to use any kind of geographical hashtags for this, so then you have to analyze that in, let's say in Mumbai, what is trending and what field it is trending. If you're related to B2B and if you're related to, let's say, car, so which are the hashtag, which are the companies which are trending around, and put that hashtag in your account, in your post. So that is going to help reach you out more. Thank you for these small tricks and tips. This is going to help. Thank you so much. Does tagging particular leading pages help necessary to tag this kind of pages? Of course, yeah, it helps. Only just check that if that page has a relevant message as yours, because that's going to help you identify, if it is going to reaching out to the correct audience. So you can, of course, tag relevant pages. You can do that. And along with that, you can put them in hashtag also. So that is something you can do. So dual things are possible. But then for that also, you'll have to make sure that by tagging them, you're giving them, on your post, you're giving them the coverage and the leverage of, being promoted. So you have to be very careful that whom you want to promote, because your customers will tap on that account and maybe get diverted to that. So hashtags is something I recommend for you. Okay, so now content writing and content creating. Sampada is very good with content creation. So Sampada, would you like to highlight how do you frame content writing if example, let's say it is Sonai and you have an image in front of you about Amrakhand or anything. So how do you channelize that?
I think for social media, it should be very crispy and it should be easy to understand. Don't use complicated terms. You can use English, or you can use Marathi terms, you can use Hindi terms, and work into your content. So it can be more relatable. So using local words which are trending, it really helps to connect with your audience. And I usually do that. So for when we promoted Amrakhanda for Sonai, so we targeted the season, mango season. So we did amazingly delicious. We use that term.
It has amazing.
Amazingly.
Yeah, so
you use the term to target the season, season. So that's what I do usually.
There is a very interesting question: how to increase the number of followers on Instagram organically. So now I forgot to tell that point to you guys, that people are behind increasing the followers on Instagram, and they are behind showing that number. So there is this thing called as fake followers and fake apps which help you show that image. But honestly, according to me, I'm completely against using anything which is inorganic or fake for following. And honestly, I don't believe that there should be too many followers. It is a very gradual and slow process. And why I'm saying this, because the 100 followers what you have but which are genuine will give you business rather than 20k followers which are fake. So you have to be very important that, oh, it's okay to have less followers, but those have to be genuine and created through hashtag. So for this, how to increase number of followers on Instagram organically, use hashtags. It's going to take time, but use that. That is a very good tool. And don't be behind increasing, showing that image of, having 20k followers. It will increase gradually, trust me. And this is my personal experience. You might have seen that in DP Mediaholics has less followers, but all of them, 20 or 30% of them get converted into business. So that is more important for me than showing that, okay, I have so many followers which don't give me any outcome. So that is important. Now the second question what I've got is personal branding of any founder or CEO as important as company's branding? Very good question. So for this, what you have to do is personal branding, it has to be there to show their qualities on the, on the page. It cannot be about their personal life. Now example, if it is about me, I have to post, so if it is about my teammates, of course I will post it, but I will post about what exactly they are good at. If Sampada is good at content writing, I will highlight those skills on that, because that is going to help the audience to understand that these people have these kind of, you know the teammates, and which are very good with this kind of content. So you will get DMs, you will get inquiries about particular things. So you have to highlight the skills than, showing the personality. So that is very important while branding any founder or CEO or any teammate on your account.
Extremely sorry for interruption, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, the question was in sense like whenever we take name of DP Mediolics, uh, Devani Pawar is the name which come into minds of us. If I am launching any of my business
Yeah.
without any identity or any identity of any business, like uh, owner or something,
Yeah.
does it work, or any business while launching require a name to be there? Like,
No, it is not. It is not really. Thank you for clarifying. So it depends. It is not really required, for to be very honest. And when you consider, now there is a process for my company also. Where the actual business conversion and everything happens when, and as in when we submit the portfolios to clients, when we submit the work we have done in the past, when we give a proper market research to people. Mr. Milind Puri, who is our business development head, is the key person for converting any kind of business. And trust me, even if it shows on social media that it is because of me or something, honestly, my teammates or my team is somebody who are the key driven people in my company, and they are the people who actually convert businesses. And over there, my name is not required. People only see the portfolio and the design aesthetics, what we do, and what quality we can offer you to the client. So that is very important. So that is something, I don't think so you need any kind of identity like that for the business to move forward, because every client which has come have obviously asked us for portfolios and everything, and after they are comfortable with us, then only they have gone forward, and not because only of the name. So thank you, it was a very good question. Thank you, Devyani, for the great insights and tricks. Would like to know how to get into the market as a brand where there are barriers and difficult to break through, and there is nothing that is to differentiate from major competitors. Okay, Swapnil, thank you for your question. So for that, you have to do extensive market research. So there will be differentiators. There will be certain USP which will break through major competitors. And I've always said that your competitors can be your friends. Don't consider them as rivals. Learn tricks and tips from them, what they are doing differently. It's okay if you do similar things, but in your own unique manner. Your aesthetics have to be that way. And there is this pestle analysis what you can do. Just make a note of that. You can check it on Google. pestle analysis, Porter analysis, SWOT analysis. These are the things which will help you create an aim and differentiate you, and help you guide through your barriers. So just try that. Local trending hashtag will help in promoting the brand, of course. Yes, most of the time local trending hashtags will help you promote the business. Now right now we are extensively using vocal for local, so that is something trending, so we are trying to do that. How to engage with followers? Should we do polls, lives, or Q&As? How can we add value? Okay, so now you can obviously observe right now we are hosting a webinar. This is how we are trying to engage with our audience. So you can do similar things with trying to interact with your customers. It can be a Q&A, it can be a live. The live has to be relevant to what message you want to convey, and you have to be well prepared, or you can call out guests on your live and then have an amazing interaction with them. Okay. Any special tips, especially for IT products like softwares and apps? Okay, right now for IT products, I will give you an example. For IT products, I had done a market research, proper extensive market research for a pharmaceutical app, which had a concept like Dunzo. You can Google that also. It's called a Mediquick app. So that is something which delivers your medication in Pune within 30 minutes. So for that, what we had done is we had channelized and identified what kind of customers and what kind of service they can provide, and what kind of app interface it can have to simplify things, and based on all the market research and consumer behavior, we came up with what things will look good on app, what aesthetics and what user friendly interface the app should have, and what brand message it can convey. So this is something, it is always related to the ground level research what you do. So you can do a combination of both for that. When will be the next webinar? So now what we are going to do is we are going to take DMs and messages from everyone of what topic they're interested in, and then the next webinar probably will be next week or the week after, based on the interest what our customers and our clients have. So that is there. Any further questions?
I think for next webinar, you can suggest us a topic.
You can put it up on the chat so that we'll we'll prepare for that. You can, of course, now there are a lot of courses available online, and you should try out all of them. Whichever interests you, you should go and try out. There's nothing harm in trying or going out for course right now, because this lockdown has served to give us a personal development. For me, I'm personally learning illustrations. I'm doing a lot of illustrations right now. I'm learning how to create digital art forms and everything. That is something different, because I am a market research person, but I'm trying to, do a lot of skill-based things in association with my team. So of course you can learn as much as courses possible, because it is going to give you a good experience and exposure to a lot of things. Apart from the topic, wanted to ask something about business. Expanding business after a proper establishment in a particular area, or starting it with a wide range, is a proper way to start. Okay, so now this gives me a direction. We'll take a business development webinar next week. If you would like to engage in how exactly this tool is being used, or how do we drive business leads, or how you can create exposure after the business is established. So we can take a next session on that, because it is a very extensive topic, and would love you if you could join for that. So I'll take last question. Let me know, and then we'll end the webinar for today. And thank you for joining, guys. It means a lot to me. It truly means a lot to me, because we are also a 2-year-old firm, but getting such response we are really grateful for that. So thank you for joining. Okay, Sampada, would you like to end the webinar?
I think we will welcome your suggestions on next topic. You can send email and you can suggest us topics. We will be having this series every week, so you can join us, and all suggestions are welcome. Or if you have any queries, you can send a mail.
I am putting up the email ID where you can post your suggestions, and alongside that I'll put up a phone number also. So if you have anything where you want to know or learn anything from the upcoming webinars, you can just email us on social media at dpmediaholics.com, and you can call us at, I'm sending the number. For any query or any work you have, you can just call us on this number. 1 second. Okay, wait. Post it for everybody. Yeah, so this is our email ID. Just note it down, and I'm putting up the number also. So you can just call us on this number or WhatsApp us.
I think I would like to thank you all for joining us, and keep suggesting us topic and keep joining us.
Yeah, we can do rural marketing also. I've been extensively working on rural marketing and agriculture for the last 1.5 years, so I can do that. I can take up that topic for you guys, rural to urban brand, and how the brand message can be differentiated, because rural market is something that is very different than the urban market, and the message has to be differentiated. So that can be taken care of. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so great guys. Thank you so much. We'll be ending the chat and the webinar. Thank you for joining, and stay tuned for upcoming webinars, and mostly we'll take it up on business business development leads, and rural and urban marketing. So thank you guys. If you have any queries, any questions, you can put it up on the social media marketing email ID what I've provided, and or then you can WhatsApp us on the number. Thank you so much.